Hi, I'm Richard Florida, author of The New Urban Crisis. I've been writing about cities for 2 or 3 decades now. And in fact, in my book, Rise of the Creative Class, one of the things I did was predict or help predict the back to the city movement of young, affluent, smart, talented people. Nothing could have prepared me for the challenges that our cities are facing today. If you live in New York or LA or San Francisco or London, housing prices are skyrocketing. Young people, talented people, creative people are being priced out. Lower income and middle class people are losing their homes. Those cities are not only awash in gentrification, they're awash in what people have called hypergentrification, or what I call plutocratization, as literally the global super rich come into these communities, take over whole neighborhoods, and the lights go out. So all of the things that made our cities great, that creative impetus, innovation, diversity, gets washed out and our cities get blanded. But the new urban crisis goes far, far, far beyond, in the research that I've done with my research, far beyond just the crisis of those imperial or superstar cities. Cities like Detroit, or Cleveland, Milwaukee, have struggled to rebuild their economy in the face of deindustrialization and after the economic crisis. Our Sunbelt cities of sprawl, although they had a little bit of a boomlet before the crisis, and some of the resource and energy communities have done okay, those communities have been crushed. The urban crisis also has moved into our suburbs. There are more poor people in suburbs today than there are in urban centers. Across the world, there are nearly 1 billion people who live in global slums. When I get to the nub of it, the reality of the new urban crisis, if the old urban crisis was the decay of the inner city, what they call the hole in the donut, the new urban crisis means that our middle-class neighborhoods that Jane Jacobs wrote about in New York City, a neighborhood like I grew up of in Newark and later in North Arlington, New Jersey, those middle-class neighborhoods have fallen by the wayside, and our society is to split into areas of concentrated advantage of the wealthy, maybe the top 10% or 20 or third of our society, with 2/3 to 3/4 of society falling behind and living in areas of concentrated disadvantage. Look, in my view, the new urban crisis is the biggest crisis of our time. It's the crisis of urbanized knowledge capitalism. We need to act now to solve it at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. And as the book outlines, literally a 7-point plan for rebuilding our cities, creating a new era of prosperity, and putting our nation and the world back on track.